number 1 asked us to, if point A is located at -7, 8 on a coordinate plane, and point B is located at 4, 5, what is the distance between the 2 points? The coordinates that I have to look at are I have a -7 and a 5, a 4 and a 5. X and Y. The Y's are the same. So I don't need to look at those because I just want to know the distance. It's really not asking me another point. It's just saying how far apart a -7 and 4 are apart. Okay? So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to draw my number line, and these are the x's, so x's are going across. This is the x-axis. Our first point was a -7, 5. It would go up to 5. So you can do that if you'd like, if you want to just make that whole thing. So this is a -7, 5. The other point was 4, 5, so it would come up here. So how do I find the distance between the -7 and the 4? Well, from -7 to 0, it takes how many? 7. And from 0 to 4, it takes 4. So 7 plus 4 is 11. So that's the distance that they're apart. Number 2 is tricky. Tricky. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to show you. You do not have to do this. Okay, but I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. I always start, when you get problems like this, start small, go big. If you go big and try to go small, you miss a lot. So you need to count. There's 1, 2, okay? Then that whole thing there would be a third rectangle. Okay, so I've got 3, 4, and someone said, well, that's a square. Well, yeah, all squares are rectangles. So I'm at 4, 5. Now that whole thing is another one. 6, 7, 8. The whole thing, 9. Now I'm going to go 10. Now even bigger. 11. 12. 13. 14. Okay, there's a lot. And did you guys see I hesitated a little bit?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my gosh, am I going to miss another one? And I think I did.
Yeah, I think you missed one.
I think I missed
Yeah.
this one right here.
Oh my god, yeah.
So then it would be 15. So when I first did it, I said 13. Then I did it again, I found 14. Now I did it again, I found 15. So guess what?
You might find
You
16.
might find a few more. Reduce the fractions. When reducing the fractions, you're dividing by the same number. So what am I going to reduce 32 and 68 by?
2.
Okay, well here, I'm going to show you on the paper. I have 32 and 68. You can start with 2. There's no, oops, thank you. There's nothing wrong with dividing by 2 first. But that would become 16/34, right? But 16 and 34 are still even. So I'll need to reduce it again by 2. And I would get 8/17. So I could have started right here. Instead of dividing it by 2, I would have divided it by 4. That's what I would do. You want to divide by the greatest common factor. Our next fraction was 22/28. Bless you. And these I'm going to divide by 2 and get 11/14. 11 is prime, so I can't reduce any further. 21 over 49, what am I gonna reduce by?
3.
Can't do 3.
Seven.
7, yeah. You're telling me the answer, I do that all the time. You get ahead of yourself. 21 divided by 7 is 3. 49 divided by 7 is. And they're both prime numbers, so we're done there. So then you wanna make sure that you're putting boxes around your answers on their line paper. And now we're down to number 4. Number 4 states, how many pitchers of water would you have if you combined all the water together? I just said, tell me how you're gonna solve that. How am I gonna solve it?
Add it all together.
Yeah,
Add it all together.
Add it all
Yeah.
together. So I'm gonna do 1/2 plus 1/3 plus 1/6 plus 1/2, and I'm gonna write on my paper. 1/2 plus 1/3 plus 1/6 plus 1/2 plus 1/8 plus 1/4. When we add fractions, we have to make sure they have what? The same denominator, or we call common denominators. So I have to figure out what can I have for 2, 3, 6, 2, 8, and 4. So it's 2, 3, 6, 8, and 4. What multiple do they have in common?
2.
That would be, that's a factor. I want multiples. So like I would count by 2s, like 2, 4, 6, 8. No, because I can't get to 8 counting by 6s.
24.
24 is excellent. So, 24 is my denominator, so 2 times 12 is 24, so it would be 12 24ths. 8 times 1, well 8 times 3 is 24, so 1 times 8 is 8. 6 times 4 is 24, so it would be 4 24ths. We've got another 12 24ths. 8 times 3 is 24, so it's 3 24ths. 4 times 6 is 24, so it's 6 24ths. Now to add, I'm going to use some common knowledge first. I know a half plus a half is what?
A whole.
A whole. So I'm gonna use my 12 24ths, and my 12 24ths, I'm gonna say I've already got one whole. Okay? Now I'm gonna add my numerators. 8 plus 4 is
12.
12 24ths. Plus 3 plus 6 is 9 24ths. So what's 12 plus 9?
21.
So I have 21 24ths. However, 21 24ths can be reduced by
3.
3.
Oh, yeah, because she's
So it would be 21 divided by 3 is 7, 24 divided by 3 is 8. So my final answer, you better rewrite as 1 and 7/8. Number 5, we're talking about temperature. The high temp today was 62 degrees. When nighttime comes, the temp will drop 40 degrees. By 4 a.m., the temp will drop an additional 40 degrees. What is the temp at 4 a.m.? I'm going to make a number line going up and down because it's like a thermometer. Here's 0. My starting temp was 62 degrees. It said it dropped, so I went down 40. So what do I stop at then?
22.
So 22 degrees. Then it says it drops again another 40. So now what number am I at? Well, I'm a negative number. It is negative 18, but how do I get negative 18? Let me show you. You start with 62 minus 40, which we did here, and we got 22. Then I do 22 minus 40. Now, down here you're gonna write keep, change, change. We use this when subtracting subtracting integers, cause I got a bigger number on the bottom. So when I subtract, you keep the sign of the bigger number, so it's going to stay positive. I change the subtraction to
A positive.
addition,
Or addition.
and I change the positive number to a negative. Then the rules of adding integers, if one is positive and one is negative, you subtract. So I'm going to subtract. And I get 18, but then it says keep the sign of the bigger number. The bigger number is 40, so my sign will be negative. But using this number line also helps me know that, okay, I'm going to be in the negative. So I want you to make sure you have both. You have the number line version, and you just have it with adding and subtracting integers. 6. 36 and 6/10 divided by 12. 12 does not go into 3, but it goes into 36.
3 times.
3 times, because you should know that 3 times 12 is
36.
36. Here's your decimal, don't cross it, bring it up. Bring down the 6. 12 does not go into 6, so I add a 0. Add another 0, bring it down, and then 12 goes into 60?
5 times.
5 times. Subtract it to make sure, and that is your final answer. 3.05 or 3 500.
I got 3.5 because I didn't add the 0.
Yes, don't forget that 0 there. That's why when you bring something down, you need to have a number above it.
Yeah. Thank you.
7. 5 4/10 times 7/4. What's the first thing I need to, one's a fraction, one's a decimal. What's the first thing I need to do?
Change the fraction to decimal.
I'm gonna change the fraction to a decimal. You could change the decimal to a fraction. You can do that too. And then you would have 5 4/10 times 7/4. Then I would make this 5 times 10 is 50, so then I'd have 50/4 over 10 times 7/4. You can do that if I wanted to change it, but I said, to me, it's a lot easier changing that fraction to a decimal. So I'm gonna do, and I like working with decimals, it's really easy for me. 7 divided by 4 goes in there once. 4 left, add a decimal, bring it up.
Ms. Belvin,
Yes?
you got them flipped. You should be taking 4 from 7.
Oh, thank you. I did my math in my head. 7 minus 4, see that happens? We all make mistakes, right? 7 minus 4 is 3. Okay, then bring up. Then 4 goes into 30. How many times? You guys have gotta help me out. I'm already foggy right now. Huh?
9.
No, not 9.
7.
7 times 4 is
28.
28. 30 minus 28 is 2. Add a 0. Bring the 0 down. 4 goes into 20. 5 even times.
We got it.
So now I've got 1.75, but now that's my fraction. So I'm gonna do 1 75/100 times 5.4. Am I lining up my decimals? No. You pretend that they're not there. And just do your multiplication. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 7 is 28 plus 2 makes 30. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 3 makes 7. Cross off what I've used. Add a 0. 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 7 is 35 plus 2 makes 37. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 3 makes 8. Add them up. And this is what they add to, but then I count my decimals. 1, 2, 3. Start on the right and come to the left. 1, 2, 3. So I have 9.4 0, but do I need this 0? No. So there's your final answer. 8 is a really long problem. It says write the fraction 29 sevenths as a repeating decimal. So what you need to know is if you have 29 sevenths, you're going to write it as a repeating decimal. So I've got 29 divided by 7. Okay, so 7 doesn't go into 2, but it goes into 29 how many times? 'Cause 4 times 7 is 28, 1 left. Add your decimal, bring it up. Add a 0, bring it down. 7 goes into 10? Once. 3 left. Add a 0, bring it down. 7 goes into 30?
4 times.
2 left. Add a 0, bring it down.
It's repeating.
It's not repeating yet because there's 2 left. Over here, 29 minus 28 was 1 left. So it's not gonna repeat just yet. So 7 goes into 20 twice. 8, add another 0. 7 goes into 80. Oh yeah, that's 6. See, now I'm not listening to you guys too. This is why we check each other. 7 goes into 60.
A lot.
And that's 8.
Yeah, that's 5 minutes.
I know. It's 56. Then 60 minus 56 is 4.
4.
Add another 0.
5.
So 7 goes into 40
5
5 times. So I'm gonna rewrite up here.
That's right.
So there's 5 left. Add another 0, bring it down. That's 7 times.
And then you get
49. Now I'm back to my 10. So all of that repeats.
Oh my god.
I'm going to tell you, I am not gonna have a lot of these problems when they repeat that far out. They might repeat 3 times, but I'm probably not gonna have it go all the way out. But the nice thing is, when we didn't make a mistake, or when I didn't make a mistake, it wasn't that tough of division. It wasn't that hard. Go ahead and take a picture. Submit it to